We're going to begin this night in John chapter 6, verse 27, asking that believers everywhere would be made aware that they are to labor for the meat that does not perish. Amen. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you, for him hath God the Father sealed. That's an important piece of information that he gave, that he was sealed by God the Father. So we know that whatsoever he said is as absolute as God is powerful. And what he said was for us not to labor for the meat which perisheth. That's easy to say, it's easy to agree with, but you need spiritual discernment in order for this to be accomplished in you. Because you have a part, as we all do, who are still alive in this earth, that is fastened to the earth, that it's impossible for it to rise above the earth. Yeah. And that's what it does by nature, is it seeks for the meat that perishes. So we've got these motions in us that have to be overcome. Amen. That requires a power greater than ourselves to accomplish. That's why this is a matter of prayer and not just an assumption. We don't just assume that we're automatically going to labor for the meat that doesn't perish. We're going to have to apply ourselves. We're going to have to be able to distinguish what is perishing and what is everlasting, because things that are everlasting are accomplished in this present earth. There's an overlapping of things sometimes. Not that what is spiritual is ever carnal, but it's performed in a carnal arena. So that we handle the things of earth, but we have to do it as using and yet not abusing. Of possessing lightly as stewards and not being possessed of the things that God has put in our hand. In laboring for the meat that does not perish, then we'll find a certain distaste for laboring for things that do perish. We'll be able to put it in its proper perspective. But again, this is what the Son of God himself has if you want to say it, this is a command. He didn't say try to do it. He said do it. Why? Because that is going to accomplish his will in us, that we be with him forever and not tied to the things. We'll perish with it if we're attached to it. He wants us to be free of its shackles, so that whenever the time comes that we're released from this mortal coil, that we have no attachment to the earth and we're free to rise up and to be with him. We can't present those things to him anyway. He wouldn't receive it. So we're going to ask again that believers everywhere would be made aware that they are to labor for the meat that does not perish.